Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new video today. And in this video, I'm going to be doing a tier list of all 48 tracks in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Now, before I officially begin the rankings, please respect all of my opinions on all 48 of these tracks. I don't want to see any, rude comments in the chat. Okay? Alright, so let's now get into what this tier list has and all. So we have S, A, B, C, D, and F. There was also an E ranking in here too, but I got rid of it because I personally choose to do it this way. I will leave a link to this tier list in the description so you guys can do this on your own if you want. All right, so let's start with the basics. Mario Kart Stadium, C tier. It's a great opening track. It's a bit short, but because it's an opening track, it's average. And I do like the way that they introduce anti-gravity to the Mario Kart franchise with this track. Water Park, I'd say B tier. Slightly better than Mario Kart Stadium, which is why it's in the B tier, so pretty much just there to introduce water to the water mechanics to beginners to the series, those that did not play Mario Kart 7, including me. I did not play Mario Kart 7. Sweet Sweet Canyon, A tier. I love the course design to this one. I absolutely do. I love the canyon at the beginning. I love the music. The theming is awesome. That's why it's going to be put in the A tier. Thwomp Ruins, I'd say B tier. I'm glad that the Thwomps get a track for themselves now, but I don't know if there's really too much else that really stands out much about it. It definitely stands out more than Mario Kart Stadium in terms of, is it better? So I'd say B tier. And now we have the Mario Circuit introduced to this game. I'm gonna put in the D tier. Not really anything special about it. It's actually probably one of the worst Mario Circuit tracks, right in the franchise. I mean, it's better than some of them. Some of them are worse than this one, but those are also just beginner tracks. This one is also kind of a beginner track, although honestly, it should have been in the Mushroom Cup if it's really that easy to navigate. All right. First S tier track, Toad Harbor. Now, this one I love a lot because of the San Francisco theme and all the trolleys and all, and just because Toad is my favorite character in the Mario franchise, I just have to put him in S. I just have to put his track in the S tier. Twisted Mansion, A tier. And Twisted Mansion is one of my not S tier. Twisted Mansion is one of my favorite Mansion tracks. I have not played every Mario Kart game. The only ones that I've really played are about 4 of them. Wii, 8, and... No, only 3, because I briefly played Mario Kart 64 in an event. But this is probably one of the best Mansion tracks, and I think it really is fitting. I'm glad that they changed the name from Boo House, which was the original name for the track shown at E3 in 2013. Shy Guy Falls, I'd say C tier. Essentially, it's pretty much just an outdoor version of Wario's Gold Mine. Now, I do love the theming. I'm glad that the Shy Guys get another course. But I feel that over time I've played it a bit too much, so that's why I probably put in the C tier. Sunshine Airport, we got another S tier track. I love this track, and many of my friends love it too. You literally drive on the runways of an airport. You, for less than a second, drive inside an airplane, and you also drive inside the terminal. It's a really special track. Dolphin Shoals, B tier. I love one of the things that really bumps this track up a lot for me is that saxophone solo in the soundtrack prior to the chorus. Like, it is an awesome solo. And me, who's listened to a bunch of saxophone solos before, one of my favorites being Clarence Clemence's Jungle Land solo, so that kind of has to... So the music itself kind of has to do with it being in B tier. I mean, all the music in this game is awesome. Alright, Electrodrome, S tier. I'm not really a big fan of disco or really electro music, but this track is awesome still. Like, and it really shows how much dedication that the developers put into it. You literally got the audience dancing on the sidelines. And also, you literally got a video on the jumbo screen of Larry Koopa being a DJ and throwing an awesome party. Like, it just fits the theme so well. And it's actually the first ever track, and right now the only one that only has one word in the name of the track. Alright. Mount Wario, I'd say A tier. Personally, it's a little bit overrated, but it's still a great track. Yeah, the reason why it's in A tier is instead of S tier is because I find it overrated. It's just not really my favorite. I wish that it's not my favorite out of all, but it definitely is still one of my favorites. From a video from around 2016 from a guy named the Koopa Captain, he actually... And every year he did this where he had viewers vote on their favorite Mario Kart tracks of all time, and Mount Wario got voted number 1. The main issue I have with it being overrated is that it just gets selected way too much in online lobbies. Like, if you play it too much, it kind of gets a bit boring later, but I still love it. Like, I love the segments. You literally start on top of the mountain, then you get into a dam, and then you get into a ski course. That's what makes it really awesome. Cloud Top Cruise, another S tier track. Already, when I first played it, it was one of my favorites. It's really great. Like, it's probably the best, like, sky-themed course since maybe Sky Garden or DS Airship Fortress. Sky Garden from the Game Boy Advance title, Super Circuit. That's just what... And also, you hear a little snippet of Gusty Garden Galaxy in the music, too. Like, that shows how much dedication that they really put into, like, the soundtracks of this game. And just any game that Nintendo works on regardless. Alright, Bone Dry Dunes... it's a D tier for me. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the theming. The decorations are awesome. But just the track design and the turns kill it for me. And the sharp turns, honestly, just make it pretty hard to get through. That's just my main issue. And whenever, even on 150cc time trials, it's really hard to get through without messing up once. Unless maybe I suck, or just don't remember playing, like, time trials much. But it's just, the turns are just way too tight. Like, but at least Dry Bones did get his own track, and maybe Dry Bowser too, depending on how you want to put it. Alright, this version of Bowser's Castle, I'd say A tier. I love the backing track for the music. It's not my most favorite track out of every Bowser's Castle track, but it's definitely up there. My favorite probably would be the N64 version. Mostly because of Mario Kart Wii nostalgia. I'll admit that. Alright, this version of Rainbow Road, it's pretty lame. Like, you would expect usually Nintendo to put their biggest effort into Rainbow Road every game. Like, the 7 version is the best Rainbow Road by far. And, I'd say that the Double Dash version, I definitely would say that the Double Dash version, as well as the Mario Kart Wii version, are very close behind. But this one honestly just isn't really that special. It's also a lot shorter than the normal Rainbow Road tracks. Rainbow Road is supposed to be the longest track, usually. But this one is just kind of a bit short. Also, like, the space station, I feel just wasn't really needed, because it's supposed to be a Rainbow Road. And all. But, whatever. It is what it is. Hopefully, the Rainbow Road track in Mario Kart 9 can be just as good, or maybe even better than the Mario Kart 7 version. But we'll see. And this track also really stinks on 200cc. And now we move into the retro tracks. Wii Moo Moo Meadows. I'd say C tier. My main issue with it in this game is that there's barely anything that changes from the original. Except for one glider ramp towards the end, nothing changes at all. Right. GBA Mario Circuit. I'll put it in the C tier too, but almost B tier. Yeah, that one I think can be considered almost B tier. Because if they didn't change anything, I'd say D tier. If they made no changes, it would be in D tier. But they actually did change things here. If there were no changes, as I said, this would be in D tier. They actually added some anti-gravity at that hairpin towards the beginning, which there's a bit of an Easter egg behind the things that hold up that anti-gravity section. There's these toys, this like stretching toy that like Nintendo released in the late 60s that holds up that section, which I find really cool. Alright, DS Cheep Cheep Beach, they changed almost nothing except for a glider ramp at the beginning. I do like the track, but my main issue, as I said, with similar Moo Moo Meadows, they changed almost nothing. N64 Toad's Turnpike, I'm gonna go with B tier, but similar to Mario Circuit, I'd say almost A tier. And this one, I enjoy. And this one is a major step up from. This track is a major step up from the N64 version. It is so much better. Like, in mirror mode, the cars don't drive at you. They actually, it turns out in both versions, mirror and normal, they drive one direction each, like in real life. So, it also just itself is a lot better here. Like, you got a lot of more backgrounds and decorations and stuff. That's why I find it better. All right. Dry Desert. This will be controversial, but I'm gonna put it in the D tier. Now, I do love the Oasis at the end, but there are some issues that I have with it. It's honestly just a boring track. It's a bit of a boring track, plus they got rid of the piranha plant eating you if you accidentally fall into the quicksand towards like the Oasis. That's just a shame that they got rid of it. Right, Sinnes Donut Plains 3. I'm gonna put it in the D tier too. Although I would probably say almost C tier. Main issue here, they changed literally nothing except for a brief moment in the water. But besides that, they changed literally nothing. That's why it's in the D tier. Alright, N64 Royal Raceway, I'm going to put it in the C tier. And here, I do kind of enjoy the track. Like, I think that, like, the decorations are better than in the N64 version for quite obvious reasons, but my main issue is that you can no longer drive up to Peach's castle like in the original. Like, there's now a gate that prevents you from doing that, and that's why it's a step down. 3DS DK Jungle, B tier, although this did almost make it into the C tier. So, this one, I think, has a lot of things going for it. The music is great. The ancient structure towards the end is really nice. And I feel that's mostly what I really have to say about it. Gonna be honest, I feel that's really all I really have to say. DS Wario Stadium, B tier. Now, I do like the track and all. I'm pretty glad that they added a new anti-gravity section towards the middle. Like, I'm pretty glad about that. But my main issue is, why is it a day race now? Like, why did they have to change it from a night race? Like, go back to it being a night race. Like, what was wrong about it? Like, I don't understand. But this one, I feel that itself is why it's not in A tier. Like, why is it not a night race anymore? Like, why? Okay. Honestly, I don't know if that really should dictate how I feel about the track. GCN Sherbet Land, I will give it a B tier ranking. Although almost A tier. So Sherbet Land is actually, in my opinion, one of the most underrated tracks in this game. It's also a major step up from the original. So, as I'm saying, I really do. I love the theming. The music itself is a lot better than the original. And it's just very beautiful to drive by. 3DS Music Park, A tier. And yeah, you could say that this is the prequel to Electrodrome, but regardless, this is an awesome track. There's a reason why it got brought back, because it was so popular in Mario Kart 7, and I just love a lot of the elements. Like, you drive on top of a piano, you drive on top of a xylophone, a marimba, you drive on top of some cymbals, a snare drum, and you also have to avoid these, like, bouncing beats that kind of look similar to those beats from Wii Music, if you know what I'm talking about. Alright, whatever. N64 Yoshi Valley, I'd say A tier. Although this did almost get put in the B tier. There are definitely a lot of improvements here. It's less easier to fall off. That's one thing that they definitely improved. It's harder to fall off. I should probably correct myself. There's now a cannon, although that may have been in the original. And best of all, the game can actually tell what position you're in now. I don't know why they couldn't in the original. It's pretty stupid, but probably had to do with technical limitations. DS TikTok Clock, this is a pretty easy S tier. Why? It's even better than the DS version, which, by the way, in 2015, the Koopa Captains, in the Koopa Captains video there, that track actually got voted #1 most popular track, the DS version, but this version, I think, is a big step up. The music really improves. Like, just the clock tower itself looks so much better. That's just why I'm putting it in the S tier. It's also a classic. If Waluigi Pinball got put in this game too, I would maybe have made another category above S tier just for that track, because that one's even better. 3DS Piranha Plant Slide. Not really one of my favorite tracks, but we gotta include it in the C tier. It's honestly just an okay track for me. I do like some of the throwback stuff that they have in there, like definitely a lot of throwbacky stuff towards at like the beginning and the end of the track. And it's also nice to see what exactly is what exactly the sewage system in the Mario universe looks like. Alright, Wii Grumble Volcano B tier. My main reasoning for this is, although this one almost got close to A tier as well, my main reason is you can no longer do the Ultra Shortcut in Mario Kart Wii. Now, I'll be honest, I never actually attempted the Ultra Shortcut in Mario Kart Wii, but I definitely would have attempted it in Mario Kart 8 or 8 Deluxe had they actually brought it back. So, I guess that some things have to come and go. It is what it is. Another easy S tier track, N64 Rainbow Road. This one is so much better than Rainbow Road in the D tier. It is so much better. Like, you now have a train. It's much shorter now compared to the original. The original honestly goes on for way too long. I mean, the only minor issue I have with this track is that it actually can take under a minute to complete now because of how short it is. Like, I feel maybe it would have been better to maybe have 2 laps instead of just 1. And also, the music itself improves heavily, and it appears that you drive over a big city too, and it's just a memory trip whenever you drive on N64 Rainbow Road. Alright, now we get into the 16 DLC tracks. GCN Yoshi Circuit, I will give it a B tier, although I did, however, almost put it in the C tier. My personal... Now, and this one I think is a major step up from both the GCN and DS versions. Like, so much more background graphics and decorations, and it's honestly very cool that you get to drive on the outline of a Yoshi. Wonder if we'll get to drive on the outline of another character like a Toad or Mario in the future. We'll see what happens. Excitebike Arena, C tier. I love that you get to drive that. I love that well, this is also the first crossover track in this game. I love that you get to drive on the track that the Excitebike bikers drove on. But at the same time, I do also love how the track changes the ramps each race. But my main issue is it's just like a single oval, and that's why it's down the C tier. That's why it's all the way in C tier, because it's just literally just a single oval. Dragon Driftway. This is pretty easy S tier. This is actually my favorite track in all of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. The music is fucking awesome. The track itself is awesome. Like, and it literally bases around drifting, which I recommend you race a kart on this track as a result. Race a kart here. Don't use a bike. And because I never use bikes, as you've probably seen in one of my previous videos, this is why it is a classic track for me. I hope they bring it back as a retro in the next game. Alright. Mute City. I will go with B tier here. Now, this is the first of 2 F-Zero tracks. We'll get to the other one later. This one, I think, is a pretty great one. And this one did almost get into the A tier. I'll explain why right now, and that's because at the final lap, and like some of the minor issues I have is that you can't collect coins. Like, is that the coins don't really show up. You have to like go into certain zones to collect them. And that's really all I have to say. Like, it's a great retro throwback to F-Zero, but I still don't understand why Nintendo has not given us a new F-Zero game, or even a remake, not even a remake, or even Captain Falcon in Mario Kart. But don't worry, I bet Rosie probably I bet Rosie probably is working on that. Alright. Wii Wario's Gold Mine, B tier. I talked about Shy Guy Falls earlier. This one, honestly, is a great track. Wario's Gold Mine. Both are great tracks. But Wario's Gold Mine, I think, sticks out a little bit more because of mostly for nostalgia purposes, because it was in Mario Kart Wii, which some may know here, it was one of the first ever games that I actually played. So that's why it's in the B tier. It's more of a nostalgia trip for me. So NES Rainbow Road, C tier. Believe it or not, it's actually better than this game's version of Rainbow Road. And while I like the Mario Kart 7 version slightly more, but this one here, I think, despite that, this one still gives that great retro vibe. And believe it or not, you can actually master this track in 200cc. As long as you drift properly. Ice Outpost now. I'd say a C tier. Not really one of my favorites. I do kind of like that the track splits a few times, but outside of that, I don't know if there's really too much that's really special about it. I don't know if there really is much that's special. Okay. Hyrule Circuit. Almost S tier, but we gotta put it in, but we're gonna put it in the A tier. So here, this track is a favorite of mine in this game. Mostly because of the Zelda theming and all. I've never really played the Zelda games much, but I think that this track still is a favorite of mine regardless. And we now have the only F tier in this tier list. Baby Park, you're going in the F tier. I was originally going to put it in maybe the D tier, or maybe even as high as the B tier, but I realized that when going back and playing it a couple of times later, it just isn't really for me. And also, the only pro I'll really give it here is that it is actually better than the DS version. The DS version is god-awful terrible. And yeah, the Double Dash version I probably would put in the C or maybe even B tier. But yeah, here it's just too crazy. And also there's no Bowser shells. And many of my friends absolutely hate it. I don't know why they really hate it that much, but I'm kind of putting it in the F tier for them. Cheeseland, B tier. It is definitely a big step up from the version in Super Circuit, so I gotta give it that. Plus, it's just a really fun track to play on. Right. Wild Woods, B tier. This actually was also one of my favorites, but I also felt I overplayed it sometimes. And the music is also really great. Animal Crossing. This will go in the A tier. The main thing it's just a simple figure 8, but what I love about it is that the season changes every time you play. You get either spring, summer, fall, or winter. And they even change the music each time for it. And also the decorations and all are beautiful. That's why I love it a lot. Neo Bowser City, this will be an unpopular opinion. This will go in the A tier. On 200cc, this is impossible. On 150cc, it's a lot better. But we don't really care about the CC classes in this, do we? I don't really know if we care. But I think it's also a step up from the Mario Kart 7 version. My only issue is that it's easier to fall off now. That's just my only issue. Besides that, I won't complain about anything else about this track. Alright. Now this will be the last S tier track. And that will be Ribbon Road. Ribbon Road, this is the best, this is actually, I personally believe, the best remake of literally every remake in Mario Kart history. There have been about, I think, 49 remakes of tracks in the history of Mario Kart. And oh my god, this one takes it so much better than in Super Circuit. Like, it's not just a red ribbon the whole time now. And also, you now have and this game really modernizes. It doesn't even feel like the original. It feels like a brand new track. God, I kind of wish it was a brand new track honestly. But, oh my. There is so much that I have to say about it. And it's literally now set in a kid's bedroom, making it even more better. Like, it's literally a playset. You have, like, pieces and parts and, like, boxes of what the, of, like, how to build the track and all, or build, like, certain carts. It is so awesome. And I love the three sections. You have the normal section, the Bowser section, and the Rosalina section, which is my personal favorite, or the Mario Galaxy. Super Bell Subway, I'll give it B tier. It's not really, it's a really great track idea. I love that you literally drive in a subway, on subway tracks and in a subway station, but personally, I kind of wish that maybe we saw a little bit more of, I kind of wish that maybe we could have seen a little bit more of just the station itself. But also it's a bit easy to hit the trains, especially if there's one coming one way and another coming the other way. Those are my main issues. And last but not least, Big Blue. And this one is slightly better than Mute City, and as a result, it goes in the A tier. It's another point-to-point course, just like Mount Wario. And I love that on the third lap, the announcer shouts, "And the final lap," or whatever it is that he says. It really gives that awesome vibe, and it's definitely a great way to close out this video. This track is, I think. So, and the segments all, I think, are really great. Like, they really differ a lot from each other. So, that's going to be the end of this tier list video. If you guys do want to make this tier list on your own, I will provide a link in the description. If you are also watching this video and are not subscribed to my channel, hit that subscribe button, it's free. Hit the like button too, it's free as well. And hit the bell icon too, that's free too. And also, go ahead and share this video and my channel to your friends if you have not done so. I will see you in the next video or live stream. And what would you guys put in your tier list? Let me know in the comments below. I'm interested. See ya!